Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws is encouraging residents to take the approved COVID-19 vaccines when they become available. Making reference to a question on if she, as Chief Medical Officer, will take the vaccine, Dr. Laws provided a rationale why she would take a dose of the approved vaccines.
So if I were to get COVID-19, one of 5 things may happen to me. 1, I may recover without any symptoms, or I may have moderate symptoms. I may develop severe disease, I may end up in the intensive care unit, or I may die. If I were to take the vaccine, I am assured that it would prevent severe disease and death. And the chances of adverse effects to date seems relatively low. And so I repeat, my response is I would take the COVID-19 vaccine now. And so I implore each and every one of us to consider or reflect on this question. Try to get as much information as you can about the COVID-19 vaccine and choose wisely. #choose COVID-19 vaccine.
Under the COVAX facility, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis has been allocated 21,600 doses that will cover about 20% of the population. According to Dr. Laws, delivery of the COVID-19 vaccines could begin as early as mid to late February 2021. Glenn Batt, Skn Newsline. A Skn spokesperson has acknowledged the important role of ham radio operators and said the company is working to resolve the radio frequency interference caused by their smart meter operations. Speaking with Skn Newsline on the matter, Skn Corporate Communications Manager Ms. Patrice Harris said the company is not ignoring the issue and recognizes the important role that ham radio operators can play in times of national disasters.
We are aware of the importance of the ham operators, and that is why we would have sought the proposals from the outside contractors. That is why we are sifting through all of the options that are on the table, because just like the ham operators, we too want to come to a resolution. But it's just that on our end, a resolution cannot be come to as quickly as one might imagine. There are thousands of smart meters in St. Kitts and Nevis on the homes of our residential customers. And so we then have to figure out what technology, what is the best way that we can deal with this, what is the most cost-effective way, also recognizing the financial situation of the company, what will be the best use of our resources as it relates to the matter. So I can assure you that it's being worked on, it's just not a decision that can be come to quite easily.
According to the communications manager, Skn received several proposals on fixing and ending the frequency disruptions generated by the operation of smart meters around St. Kitts.
It's unfortunate that there is a perception that Skn does not care about this particular issue. I can assure you that we have dedicated a member of staff to come up with a solution to this particular situation. They would have engaged some private contractors, and there are several proposals on the table. The proposals, as you can imagine, are not an easy fix. They're also they're also quite costly. And so, to my knowledge, the last action that would have taken place is that there was a meeting, as you are already aware, with ECTEL, with NTRC, and with both ministers, and we're just waiting to be advised as to what would be the next step forward. But there is continuous attention being paid to the matter.
The smart meter system affords Skn several advantages in the management of customer service, but the equipment is emitted signals that are illegally jamming the internationally assigned radio frequencies for ham radio operations on St. Kitts. The NTRC directed Skn to cease disrupting the ham radio frequencies, but at this point Skn has not complied with the directive. Glenn Batt, Skn Newsline.
February is Black History Month. Each day on our newscast, Skn Newsline will be highlighting Black iconic Caribbean people who have made a valuable contribution to our societies.
Mary Georgina McGregor Charles was born on the 10th of May 1913 in Phillips's Village to Henry and Frances Charles. She attended Leach Infant School in Phillips's Village and then Estridge Government School. In 1932, she obtained a scholarship to enroll in a 2-year course offered by the Spring Gardens Teachers Training College in Antigua. Returning to St. Kitts in 1934, she worked at several schools before becoming head teacher in 1956 at the Keon Government School, where she taught for the next 12 years. In 1971, she became the first female political candidate in the St. Kitts and Nevis for elections on the ticket of the People's Action Movement. She didn't win her seat and soon moved to the Virgin Islands, where she continued teaching. She retired from teaching after 53 years in 1978. The following year, she was made a full-time member of the Caribbean Union of Teachers. In recognition of her many years of service to education, Mary Charles was honored by Queen Elizabeth II with the Order of the British Empire in the New Year's honors for 1985. The following year, a hospital in Molyneux was completed, which was named in her honor as the Mary Charles Hospital. After her husband's death, Mary Charles returned to St. Kitts. She died on the 18th of March 2008 in Molyneux. The St. Kitts Teachers Union named an award, the Mary Charles George Award, in her honor to recognize teaching excellence.
For 2021, Smart Electronics is giving you the best deals you can ever imagine. From January 1st until April 30th, you will get the best deals in the entire federation. Plus, that's not all. Get extra special deals on Valentine's Day on all items store-wide, such as cell phones, 85 inches smart TVs, laptops, washing machines, refrigerators, AC units, small appliances, and much more. Visit us. We're located at Port Zante, opposite the food court, or call us at 466-4271. This promotion is valid until April 30th. Terms and conditions apply.
Caribana on Liverpool Row is your anything you want store in St. Kitts. They have a wide variety of just about everything. Ladies and men's clothing, shoes, children's clothing, toys, housewares of all kinds, small appliances like clothes heaters, microwaves, electric kettles and more, cosmetics, perfumes, cosmetic jewelry and much, much more. Their prices are unbeatable and customer service is second to none. Shop at Caribana on Liverpool Row Bastair. Call 465-1745. At Caribana, find value supplies at great prices.
I feel good.
Come to Vibes Beach Bar and Grill at the Frigate Bay Strip, your place for the best selection of local dishes. Join us for lunch. Mahi-mahi, barbecue ribs, fresh caught snapper, salmon, lobster, and our world-famous Vibes wings at economically sound prices. Dinner is served from the deck or the golden sands of the Frigate Bay Beach. Join us for birthdays, business meetings, or just for fun in a family-friendly environment. Open daily from 11 a.m. Vibes Beach Bar and Grill. Great food, hospitality, entertainment, and good vibes. Call 465-8423 for reservations and inquiries.
I feel good.
Tuesday's live stream from behind the bars of the Bodily Correctional Facility attracted the numbers that would make many mainstream media programs envious. The remand prisoners were complaining about several matters, among them the lack of protection against COVID-19 given the cases at the prison. They were also complaining about the quality of the food on offer and their long detention without trial.
I have 4 years. I actually innocent too.
Yeah, man.
Let's say Empire.
Why they want to give us such trials for us to prove ourselves guilty? Why?
The Director of Corrections, Hilary Herman, in an interview with News Force following Tuesday's protest, says the availability of mobile devices behind bars is a difficult challenge for today's prisons to deal with.
What that incident showed was that we still have a problem with contraband mobile phones, and that is a international problem. All prisons have that issue with contraband mobile phones, which causes them to obviously send live video. So that's an issue that we continue to work on. Don't know that we have the solutions to that are very expensive, which is jamming the signals, and that's a very expensive proposition. So I don't know how soon we can ever deal with that.
The leadership of the Bodily Correctional Facility was aware of the live stream, but decided against taking action that would further inflame the situation.
We had 2 officers in that unit. They were outnumbered by in excess of 200 inmates, so we took the decision to not be confrontational and to allow them to vent. What you saw in that video was inmates complaining about the time on remand, broken toilets, and some living conditions. You will see that COVID-19 was the least of their priorities. They took advantage of this COVID-19 period and to highlight some of the issues.
But one of the prisoners' grievances, the Director of Corrections says many of them are being addressed thanks to the intervention of the Ministry of Health.
The government have stepped up, and Ministry of Health has provided us with some disposable mask forms, so we'll be issuing those out to include the gels, hand sanitizer. So we expect to issue that. We've been having the liquid one, which some of them could not use. So we now have the gel and the mask, so we'll be issuing those this evening to resolve that issue.
Not for the first time in recent weeks, the public was given a glimpse of life behind bars, but this time it was live streamed. The prisoners are demonstrating their ability to use the latest technology to communicate with the outside world. The prison authorities have signaled their intention to crack down on the practice, creating a game of cat and mouse between the prisoners and their wardens. Stanley Lucian for the HTS News Force.
The Agape Christian Fellowship Church in Falmouth, Trelawney, is breathing a sigh of relief after swift action by the police led to the arrest of 4 people allegedly involved in the murder of one of its members, Andrea Lou Garwood, Sunday. A 2-minute 29-second video of the ordeal was streamed live on Facebook. Pastor Junior Rotty explained that they were in the 3rd song of praise and worship when the attack took place.
I saw this gentleman in a hat, and he had a handkerchief around his nose for his mask, and therefore I thought it was a little bit odd. In minutes of passing, a couple feet away from him, I hear the shots start to reload. I'm right there and I can't believe what is happening.
CVM Live visited the church Tuesday. Members huddled, praying in the same spot where Mrs. Lou Garwood was gunned down. Pastor Ruti said they've been receiving overwhelming support.
The ministry should be coming in and give their time, and they called me. They said, any day, Pastor, if you need it privately or you need a group of people, just call on us.
But he says he cannot shake the negative comments about the attack.
Like many people have asked, and I would ask the same question if I was in your position. Where was God? Where was God at your church? Aren't you guys holy enough? It has nothing to do with how holy you are. Because if that was so, I would ask God the same question about Jesus.
When asked whether he's concerned about members' safety, the pastor said the church will continue playing its part in addressing crime and violence.
We have a responsibility to bring the congregation to the place where we are. And we have the word of God to speak to our people where we are.
Jamila Maitland for CVM Live.
They came to march through central New Delhi but were blocked and pushed back by hundreds of police officers. Despite being forced to stay on one road, people taking part in the so-called Citizens' March said they wouldn't be deterred from showing their solidarity with protesting farmers on the outskirts of the capital.
Whatever the government may think of the farmers' demands, the fact that you use repression, that you fire on farmers, you use tear gas shells, you use batons the last time they were on Delhi streets, and now you are actually assembling this entire army outside their protest sites.
The number of security forces at protest sites has increased since violence broke out between some protesters and police on Republic Day last week. Police have erected rows of barriers around the sites using concrete and steel barricades, barbed wire and stone boulders. Water, electricity and internet services have intermittently been cut off, and police have also taken action against journalists. Mandeep Punia was detained after he reported on a large group of people who were throwing stones at protesters in the area of Singhu. His wife has accused the police of harassment.
What sort of system is this where a journalist who is doing his job with great loyalty is being targeted? They strategically target and profile him and file such charges against him and mentally harass him for the next 24 hours. And they weren't just targeting him, but the entire journalist community.
Members of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the government's chief lawyer have also blamed the protests on 6 separatists despite a lack of evidence.
It has been a pattern for the last few years that they have begun to weaponize sedition laws, weaponize anti-terror laws against dissenters. They do not recognize the simple fact that when you have a public protest, it is being done in a manner which doesn't really need a conspiracy.
People in New Delhi are also protesting against the police charging farm leaders with sedition, rioting, an attempt to murder following last week's protests.
Despite all of the arrests and charges, many more farmers are travelling from their villages and states around Delhi to join the protests. And people have come out here in the capital to show their support. Elizabeth Puranam, Al Jazeera, New Delhi.
As Chicago demands teachers go back to school, teachers like Tammy Vinson fear their classrooms could become super-spreading incubators for COVID-19.
A lot of kids could be asymptomatic. So I could have it, and I can go to school and inadvertently pass it on to a student. They in turn could go home and pass it on to their grandmother or their medically fragile aunt or uncle or their parents. So yeah, absolutely a concern.
One person who wants teachers back in class is President Joe Biden.
The president wants to not only reopen schools, he wants the schools to stay open.
Another is Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who has threatened a virtual lockout that would bar teachers from access to the online instruction they've been using. She says the kids deserve better.
Particularly our black and brown kids are falling behind.
In Las Vegas, the superintendent of Clark County Schools says 19 students have committed suicide since virtual schooling began in March.
I think the isolation, I think the kids reaching out, they don't have that vehicle in school right now.
In Washington State, high school junior Lily Villa says the end of in-person classes has driven up her anxiety.
I'd always have someone physically next to me. Now I'm just with my cat in my room.
One issue in Chicago and elsewhere is that teachers, for the most part, want to receive their vaccinations before they come back. But for many, it could be weeks or even months before they receive their doses.
Ready? I am so ready.
Even after they do, no one knows what normal will look like.
I don't know if the desire to get back to what was pre-pandemic is reasonable, because I don't think it's going to happen.
A once-in-a-century shock to the education system, she says, might leave lingering consequences. John Hendren, Al Jazeera, Chicago.
Stay abreast with news on St. Martin with SMN News. Visit www.smn-news.com for up-to-date news, scoops, opinions, and hard-hitting facts. SMN News, we tell it like it is. Visit our website www.smn-news.com.
It's the new and improved Skn Newsline Android mobile app. With the Skn Newsline app, you can watch your news reports, the Skn Newsline Newscast, sports, special features, and so much more. You can also send us a WhatsApp or call us directly. Go in the Google Play Store, search Skn Newsline, and download the app today. The Skn Newsline mobile app. News on the go. For the finest in pastries and baked products, your only choice has to be Bryden's Bakery, located on Main Street, New Road, St. Peters. They offer the best in breads, cakes, cheesecakes, cupcakes, cookies, and much more. Visit their cafe and savor breakfast sandwiches, coffee, espresso, and ice cream. Bryden's Bakery also specializes in a variety of healthy breads, cakes, cookies, pies, and pastries for all your special events. Call 667-1505. Opening hours 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays for Ice Cream Sundays. Bryden's Bakery, simply the best.
Banners, commercial signs, decal printing, canvas prints, license plates, posters. We at Multigraphics are dedicated to providing quality products and service to our customers. Our team takes pride in the craftsmanship and is passionate about its work. Every job, large or small, is important. Most of our customers come to us through referrals. That's because our number one priority is service. We serve a wide variety of customers, such as restaurants, retail stores, manufacturers, trucking companies, and many more. Our capabilities include design, production, and installation. How can we help? We are located at Bird Rock at the Woods Right compound. Call us at 869-763-1511 or 784-491-7599. Multigraphics.
On behalf of management and staff of Auto Plus, we want to wish you a Happy New Year and a prosperous 2021.
Located on the College Street Gut, Bastille St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastille St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where service is number one.